Hello, I just wanted to, before we get into everything, just show you guys for posterity the trip that Cobra 47 took yesterday. We were tracking that guy yesterday. It was pretty much stalking the balloon. It has now landed, so this is a kind of out-of-date map, but I wanted to just show you what Cobra 7 did before we move on to what is happening right now. And in terms of what is happening right now, if we move over to South Carolina, which is where it kind of went off track from what people were projecting, so that would suggest either the wind didn't quite blow the way people thought it was going to blow, or alternatively, they exerted a little bit of control. But if we look around this area, there's a few things going on here. So I believe it's in this area. We have a number of planes taking interesting trips. So this area here where these guys are, things look like they're lining up. And we've got a J-Stars over here in Georgia. Now that guy is doing loops, but it may well end up flying over to this area in South Carolina. So as far as this stream goes, we're just going to have these planes up here. We're going to have 8992. And as you guys can see, the signal from yesterday is still going on 8992. So I do have a squelch on that guy. You shouldn't be able to hear that, but just for the sake of some troubleshooting, I want to make sure that if any message does go out, you guys can hear it. So just temporarily, I'm going to turn off the squelch, and you let me know if you hear a noise. And I can't hear a noise. How about now? Perfect, you guys can hear that, but I don't want you to listen to that in perpetuity, so I'm going to turn the squelch up a bit again. You may still hear it now and then. If the signal gets louder, it's going to break through the filter I put on. In the background, you guys won't be able to hear it, but I do have 11175 being monitored. So any regular messages that we do here will show up there. As far as how many messages have gone out today, as you can see right there, I've got 7 messages. One is from the Bear Nest relay station, so that right there is in effect redundant to the one above. Couple of these messages went out for a similar call sign to yesterday, the feudal call sign, and the other ones went out for a call sign Merc. So Lori, I do expect them to do something today. My speculation from reading a couple different sources yesterday and resources is they didn't want to shoot it. Well, officially they said they saw no reason to shoot it down. And there is a message going out now, so let me turn off the squelch. Maybe not a message. Oh.
4, Romeo, Golf, Uniform, India, standby. 2, 4, Romeo, Golf, Uniform, India, standby. 2, 4, Romeo, Golf, Uniform, India, standby, message follow.
So this is just Bear Nest doing a repeat of the message it was reading off earlier.
4, Romeo, Golf, Uniform, India, Charlie, Romeo, Charlie, Papa, Hotel, Uniform. 7, 4, Hotel, X-ray, Papa, Bravo, Charlie, Zulu, Victor, Lima, Bravo, Yankee, Victor, 7, Romeo, Hotel, I say again. Two, 4, Romeo, Golf, Uniform, India, Charlie, Romeo, Charlie, Papa, Hotel, India, November, Uniform, 7, 4, Hotel, X-ray, Papa, Bravo, Charlie, Zulu, Victor, Lima, Bravo, Yankee, Victor, 7, Romeo, Hotel, this is Fairness out.
Okay, I'm going to turn the squelch back up so we don't have to listen to the radio teletype for too long. That signal has been going on, I believe, for almost 24 hours. That doesn't typically happen. I have heard these signals go on for like literally days, but that was just a couple times last year out of the basically 4 months of consistent monitoring I was doing. Usually you probably hear them for like a minute or so. Anyways, in terms of where we were leaving off, so yeah, yesterday I read a lot of different opinions and resources and tried to get an idea on what might be going on. And the Cole's Notes version would be officially the Pentagon said that the balloon wasn't a threat. In a sense, to you and I, the average civilian, the balloon poses no threat. A lot of the speculation out there that the balloon is a is containing a biohazard or is an EMP or anything like that, I think that's unlikely. I think the response from the United States would have been very, very different. They would have organized, I think, evacuations or something along the projected routes. And China wouldn't really. What they've done, I personally am of the opinion, is audacious, but I don't think they're looking to start a war at this time. And that would be basically an invitation to war. So no, I don't expect that to be the case. It is not a threat. But I think the U.S. Was officially saying they didn't want to shoot it down because internally they were more worried about, as they said, the wreckage, but not necessarily from the balloon in and of itself. I think just the wreckage, debris from, firing missiles at it. Because, a missile is going to rip right through the balloon and then keep going. And then that sucker is going to fall. And you have no idea where that is going to land. You have no idea what's going to happen with that lands, because the balloon's going to put up zero resistance against a missile. Any ammunition, bullets or things like that, even if you're to organize this so that it is over a forest or something like that where you're not too worried about the debris, in that case you kind of have the opposite problem. The bullets are not going to be enough to take down a Chinese spy balloon. In terms of what this stream is going to be, I'm not sure if we're going to get live footage of any attempts to shoot it down, but if we do a little bit of browsing, and you guys know that I love to do a little bit of browsing, so this is a fellow we were looking at yesterday, Wild Weather Dan. He seems to know his stuff when it comes to this. And this is actually just a new post. And it says, with the so-called spy balloon over Rock Hill, South Carolina, and that is as of 2 hours ago, it was spotted over Rock Hill. The NOAA high split model shows it making it to Africa in about 9 days. It will cross the US coast in about 3 hours or so. And the expected, according to him, place that we might see the balloon cross over the coast would be between Wilmington and Myrtle Beach. And that is effectively where we are seeing these things congregate. Nearest right now would be a strato tanker for refueling, another strato tanker for refueling. These guys are beginning to do loops. And again, I mean, and I can show you any section of the US air map right now, and you're going to see a lot of planes, but that this is where things are projected to be, and you have all these things lining up. I believe that is also a J-Stars, but it's just not showing a ID on ADSB Exchange. We have it's just off the screen there, but we have another J-Stars floating above Georgia. Yeah, we have all kinds of things up on the sky right now, up on this map. And the projected time that we can expect some big news is over the night. Nothing imminently, not within the next hour or so, but another 2-3 hours. That's when we're gonna see things. I will be running this stream more or less for the next little bit, just to have a record of what the flight map looks like, what the radio traffic sounds like, so that in the future people can look back on this and see how the US military responded to the Chinese spy balloon. In the background, I'll be browsing Twitter. Any news that I have to share with you guys, I will be doing that every 15 minutes. Let's revise that. Let's say every half hour until it seems like we do have a lot of news. So I'm not going to do the 1 p.m. Eastern update right at this moment because I'm obviously talking right now. But I'll continue to do a little bit of intro, and then when I take a break, you can expect to hear my voice walking you through what's going on at 1:30. And by the way, I mean, one of the things that I do with this channel is to prove that anyone can do this. Anyone can get into moderating these things. I just got into it a year ago. I don't know too much, so any information you guys want me to share on this stream, by all means, put it in the chat box. I will take a look. My focus is to make sure there is a community for people looking for information on this, and I've watched YouTube channels on other topics, and I've often wished the person doing the stream would incorporate more information from the viewers. So I'm looking to model this stream along those lines. Kaitak Approach, you have a question. How often do they run radio teletype signals on EAM frequencies? I can't give you a great, it's once every 2 weeks or it's once every 3 weeks or something like that. But it's not super crazy rare. It's also not very typical. But I will say usually these signals run, sometimes they run for like a couple seconds. And I don't know if that's just someone accidentally pressing a button or something. But they are usually very short when they do happen, which is not that often. When they run for hours and hours, and in this case it looks like it's going to run for at least a day. I mean, you can look back on yesterday's stream when you have a chance, if you want to take a break from this one and do a little snooping around yourself. Even before it was audible on the stream and I had to start playing around with the squelch, you can see the traces of the signal in the waterfall. So I expect this has already been running for well over 24 hours, because it was running even before I noticed it. That happened, that I heard twice last year, and that was, I believe, once in November or December and once in February or March. And I would say I cannot vouch for April, May, June, July, August, September, because it was really on and off in terms of how much I was listening a day. So I can't give you a great perspective on those because the frequency isn't, I guess you could say, statistically significant in terms of how often I've heard it. But they do occur. They can go on for a while. I wouldn't make too much of it. Oh.
For traffic. I say again, this is headdress, standing by for traffic. This is headdress out.
Okay, so that was just standing by for traffic. Dawn, KC-46 is still being certified for refueling different aircraft, so it may be unrelated. So that would be with respect to the Stratotanker I was talking about earlier. I believe that is one of these fellows down here. No. Is it? KC. Lucky 6-2, I see. This fella. So we're thinking that is not necessarily related. And we will probably, as things develop, maybe see which planes are more likely to have something to do with it and which ones are just happening to be there. Because again, as I said, I can pick any section of the US air map right now and tell you a story about how they look like they're doing this, that, and the other. So definitely right now, some of these planes, fair to speculate, are related. Some of these probably have nothing to do with it. Yes, Scott, we are live. This is a live stream right now. And as I was just saying, what we're going to be doing is updates every 30 minutes. But as of this point in time, this is the area where the balloon is expected to cross, as opposed to being hovering above United States land. We expect it to be floating above the ocean, and just we're observing the flight maps right now because it looks like things are lining up. Could be a false positive. Maybe they're just going to let it float by and not make too much a big deal of it, but it does look like it is lining up to maybe try and shoot the sucker down. And for anyone joining who maybe wants a follow-up from yesterday, if you skip to the very start of this stream and just pause for a moment, you can grab a screenshot of the Cobra, what was it called? The combat scent plane that was pretty much stalking the balloon yesterday. That returned to Offutt Air Force Base late last night. I think around 1 a.m. Eastern, I saw it turn around, and that's when I pretty much stopped monitoring it. You can grab a map there. And I will now, in the background, be just browsing to see what kind of footage we can get. I think it's unlikely that the U.S. military is going to provide a live stream of attempts to shoot it down. We may get footage after the fact. We're probably not going to get a live stream of shooting the balloon down for us to all be able to tune into. I think because on the off chance that it's not as easy as they're thinking it is, they don't want the general public to watch the military having trouble with a balloon. It's not really great media spin. So yeah, about 2 hours ago, the balloon was spotted over, I believe, let's see, Rock Hill, South Carolina. This is a projected flight map. If they do not attempt to shoot down the balloon, it would make it to Africa in about 9 days. But as you can see, there's a message going, so I'm going to stop talking.
Great. 4 Gulch 19. 4 Gulch 19. Victor Kilo Oscar, Tango, Romeo, stand by. Victor, Kilo, 4, Oscar, Tango, Romeo, stand by. Victor, Kilo, 4, Oscar, Tango, Romeo, stand by. Message follows. Victor, Kilo, 4, Oscar, Tango, Romeo, Foxtrot, Tango, 5, 4, Zulu, Mike, Hotel, Kilo, 5, Papa, Hotel, Tango, Yankee, 3, Lima, Delta, 7, Juliet, Papa, X-ray, 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 Alpha, 7, I say again, 4, Gulch, 19, 4, Gulch, 19, Victor, Kilo, 4, Oscar, Tango, Romeo, Foxtrot, Tango, 5, 4, Zulu, Mike, Hotel, Kilo, 5, Papa, Hotel, Tango, Yankee, 3, Lima, Delta, 7, Juliet, Papa, X-ray, 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 Alpha, 7. This is Petra, out.
Okay, that is another message. That one was for Gulch 19. That is a Don. You're thinking it's an E6B off of just south of Long Island. Let's see. Oh, we got another message. Maybe not. So I do have 11175 running in the background. Thought I heard a message there. Test count there from West Coast. Yeah, let's take a look at Flight Radar 24, sure. You guys can just bear with me one moment. Yeah, there it would be. So that is the instructions we just heard. As you can see, I have to turn the squelch up because the radio teletype signal is getting stronger. Not really sure what it is from. Can I explain the sources of audio? Thanks for streaming. Yeah, absolutely. I'll do kind of a brief recap. And I'll kind of go right from the bottom. So the U.S. Military, usually the Air Force, but it can be other groups within the U.S. Apparatus, use the shortwave frequencies 4724 kilohertz, 8992 kilohertz, 11175 kilohertz, 15016 kilohertz, a few other frequencies, but those are kind of the main known frequencies. As you can see in the bottom right, I am tracking 8992 kilohertz. Now that signal there is radio teletype. if I turn off squelch, which is a way of muting the audio until it goes above a certain volume, it sounds like this. You would have to listen to that for hours because this is quite a long signal. So we're not going to be doing that. I will have the squelch set up, and sometimes the signal will get a bit louder, so you'll hear it for a brief snippet. But more in the usual case, what happens with these frequencies is they're typically quiet, and then you hear voice messages come on, which is what we are tracking in the top right of the screen. Just transcriptions of the daily messages and so on. And these come from the United States military. These are coded messages that are usually sent by ground stations to aircraft. Aircraft may be relaying it to submarines, may be relayed to other tactical assets globally. The high frequency global communication system, which is the formal term they use for these frequencies, is designed to be exactly that, global. So this channel is about primarily listening to those and getting an idea of how often they happen during the day, transcribing them so that we have a data record of things. And the last few weeks I've tried to get a little bit better at making correlations versus just being focused on the data to varying degrees of success. I will say if it wasn't for the folks in the chat box, it would be a much more superficial analysis. So, you know, in terms of some of the planes, I'm not too familiar with when you might see them deployed, when you might see them implemented, but folks in the chat box are helping out. And when I find channels that I think know a little bit more about the flight paths and analysis, I recommend them. You guys are talking about NY Prepper. So I think he is back on YouTube already. I saw him put a video up, I think 7-8 hours ago, and he may be putting another one up soon. So NY Prepper, if you guys haven't checked him out. I think he's not too interested in the Chinese balloon. He thinks it's a little bit of a distraction from the... and there is a lot going on with Ukraine right now. It does look, if we were to throw the map over there, like things are building up. Signals from Russia are definitely building up as well. But I think, you know, there is a tension with the balloon. It's an opportunity to get people interested, you know, an introduction to listening to these signals, taking a look at the flight radar maps, stuff like that. And then from there, you're more informed. You know, if you're just getting into this stuff for the first time, you're more informed for the next big quote unquote happening. That said, I got to take a short break, and then after that, I'm going to do some digging in the background to see if we have any updates on any social media, any websites. You know, I got to check the Department of Defense's website. I don't expect we're going to be able to find a stream, but if we're lucky and we do a lot of digging, maybe we'll find someone on Twitter taking photos or something like that. So I'll be working on that. And I'll try and do the same format as yesterday. So every 30 minutes, and that's going to be on the 30s and the zeros. So top of the hour and the middle of the hour. I think it's called the bottom of the hour. I will come back on to the mic and talk. Other than that, you'll mostly be watching so that we have this as a record of what the planes looked like and any unusual messages that happen to go out. I will be back in 15. Gonna jump the gun briefly a little bit. I'll repeat myself at middle at the 30 for anyone who isn't listening right now. But this account, Global Military Info, which seems reputable, has a lot of people following it, people that I find give out good information. So the FAA has placed a temporary flight restriction off the coast of South Carolina, a big indication that the U.S. will move forward in shooting down the Chinese surveillance balloon, as we like to call it, the Chinese spy balloon. Or if you were listening yesterday, I kept calling it a weather balloon. I apologize for that. That is fake news on my part. It actually looks like doing updates every 30 minutes may not be the best approach, because they may be trying to shoot it down pretty soon. But I'm going to still be working in the background here to see what information I can find for you guys. As I said, I think any official updates that we're going to see from, say, the Department of Defense, they're not going to put up a live stream for us to watch in case it takes them a couple tries. I'll stop talking for the message.
India, stand by, message to follow. 2, 4, Romeo, Golf, uniform, India, Charlie, Romeo, Charlie, Papa, Hotel, India, November, uniform, 7, 4, Hotel, X-ray, Papa, Bravo, Charlie, Zulu, Victor, Lima, Bravo, Yankee, Victor, 7, Romeo, Hotel, I say again. Two, 4, Romeo, Golf, uniform, India, Charlie, Romeo, Charlie, Papa, Hotel, India, November, uniform, 7, 4, Hotel, X-ray, Papa, Bravo, Charlie, Zulu, Victor, Lima, Bravo, Yankee, Victor, 7, Romeo, Hotel, this is Fairness, out.
Okay, so that was another repeated message from Bear Nest. Not too much fuss to make about that one. Oh, gotta turn this call checks this a little bit more. As you guys can see, I've put up a tweet from Global Military Info. Now I've found secondary sources confirming a notice to airmen, or a NOTAM, They have put out a temporary flight restriction for these areas indicated in red. I wonder if I can kind of line this up so we can kind of toggle back and forth and get an idea of quite where things are. Let's give it a shot, maybe. No, I've made it too big now. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Okay. Is that lined up? Not very well. I won't be able to do it perfect, but it gives you an idea of some of the places they are expecting the balloon to be. So planes cannot fly in this area, but obviously we see a number of military aircraft in the areas of interest there. So more support that, you know, those stratotankers, those are not, I think it's fair to say those are not there as a training exercise. They don't just happen to be there. This is where we expect the balloon to cross. This is where we expect things to be. It is not looking likely that there will be any live streams available, but definitely I don't expect any official live streams, but we might see someone on Twitter or maybe another social media network throwing people to their live stream. And if I happen to find another channel or something that is credible, I'll be happy to put that in the comments box. And no offense taken if you guys swap over to another stream. I will do what I can to find stuff, but we'll see how the next hour or so develops. It does look like we can expect some interesting attempts, because it is not easy to shoot down a giant balloon of this scale. That's why they didn't want to do it above the land. Again, you can shoot a missile at a balloon, it's going to rip right through it and keep going, and you don't know where that thing's going to land necessarily. So you don't want to do that anywhere above the US, even in sparsely populated areas, because heaven forbid there is someone down there. You know what I mean? But with the ocean, it's a little bit different. You can see where any boats or stuff might be. I wouldn't be surprised if you had the Coast Guard or something, you know, clearing people out of certain areas right now. We do see that they're clearing people out of these sections of the air. That is where you cannot fly right now. That is where many military assets are flying right now. And I will say, just as a brief comment, as compared to some of the projections we looked at yesterday, it looks like the balloon did go a little bit further south. That could be because of some changes in airflow. That could also be, there's a message that's about to come on.
All stations, this is headdress, break for feudal, Victor, Kilo, 7, Kilo, Oscar, Papa, stand by, Victor, Kilo, 7, Kilo, Oscar, Papa, stand by, Victor, Kilo, 7, Kilo, Oscar, Papa, stand by, message follows, Victor, Kilo, 7, Kilo, Oscar, Papa, Hotel, 4, Bravo, Lima, Yankee, Juliet, Charlie, Papa, Echo, Zulu, Delta, Golf, Hotel, Alpha, Foxtrot, 6, Papa, 4, Romeo, Hotel, November, 5, 2, Charlie, I say again, 4, feudal, Victor, Kilo, 7, Kilo, Oscar, Papa, Hotel, 4, Bravo, Lima, Yankee, Juliet, Charlie, 6, Papa, 4, Romeo, Hotel, November, 5, 2, Charlie. This is headdress out.
Today is pretty busy for a Saturday in terms of messages, in my estimation. 11 messages doesn't sound like a lot, but over the weekend, that sounds light to me. Just gonna take a look at some other days. Or sorry, that sounds busier to me. No, we've had Saturdays with more traffic than that. 13.
This is headdress.
Standing by for traffic.
Standing by for traffic. I say again, this is headdress, standing by for traffic. This is headdress out.
Okay, so that's just a standby for traffic. That's nothing too unusual. While that message is going on, I was just looking to see any information on what may be happening. So I can let you know, and my source on this would be twitter.com/ this is all one word, the Intel Frog. The Intel Frog. If you guys are not already following this account, definitely check it out. All departures to Myrtle Beach Airport are in a ground stop due to security. That is a block that is up until 2:45 p.m. Eastern. So it is in effect right now. And it says the probability of extension is medium. They give a range of 30 to 60%. So they sound fairly confident that they are going to start shooting at this sucker and trying to take it down. They think they'll be able to get it done by 2:45 p.m., if not sooner. But they also acknowledge the possibility that this will take a little bit longer than they might like, and it could extend past 2:45 p.m. The longer it goes on, I think the longer our chances of finding someone who is able to stream it. If you happen to know anyone in the areas of interest who has a telephone, who has a camera, who has anything like that, tell them to, get in a car, get to the coast, and start filming, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Well, maybe twice in a lifetime, because I know people are asking about the balloons. So the Pentagon has confirmed a second balloon somewhere over Latin America. I don't know if we've gotten details. I saw some people are speculating on its locations. But that one is credible. There was alleged to be a third one over Canada, and yesterday I ran with that. I assumed that was legitimate. But as far as I can tell, and as a Canadian, I can tell you, the Canadian military doesn't always know what they're talking about. They did shut down airspace last night, and I believe the notice to airmen in that case was for vigilance, for vigilance of an untethered balloon. A very open-ended, loose statement, not a lot of details. I don't think anyone has given any information. This is just dropped. This is breaking right now. Charleston International Airport is also in a ground stop for all departures due to security. And they are giving the same time range that is up until 2:45 p.m. with a medium 30 to 60% chance of that ground stop having to be extended. Let's put that map up again. And let's temporarily just zoom into it so that folks can get a good look at it. These are the areas that we're looking at right now. And it looks like between Charleston and Wilmington, that is the area most likely that the balloon will be. If you see that little green dot in the center of the image we're looking at, that is just a effect of the interface that was used to generate these maps. It's kind of like a cursor that's on an island or anything like that. But that is actually, I think, where they're probably going to be focusing their efforts. They're going to try and shoot it down, maybe from Charleston. I saw someone at Lori is wondering if they will shoot it down over Charleston. I don't think over Charleston. Again, they want to shoot it while it's over the ocean to minimize any risk. Not necessarily from the debris of the balloon, though that's certainly a factor, but more likely any debris from any missiles, any kind of ammunition that they might be using. I don't expect this to be a one and done thing here. Nadia is asking me to provide a link to this Twitter source. Yeah, absolutely. So I will give you the Intel frog right there. Oh, do I need to put a www dot in front? I don't know if that hyperlink is working. The tweet that you're seeing on the right there, I will type that account in there as well, just so that you can easily either click or copy paste, depending on what the chat box lets you do. So you can grab that as well. So things are spicy. Things are spicy. Things are developing. I'm excited. I know a lot of people have been commenting that the balloon is a distraction. If you guys if that is your opinion and you think this is a bit of ridiculousness, let me know. If you guys disagree with stuff, you are allowed to express that in these chat boxes. I'm covering this because funny isn't the right word, because I think there are serious implications in terms of what is going on here, but it is in a sense a novel event. I think people who maybe wouldn't be normally looking at flight maps, who wouldn't normally be listening to emergency action messages, are doing that right now. And I see this as an opportunity to introduce people who maybe wouldn't normally be interested in what's going on, in what is going on. The title of the video, the thumbnail, you may feel that it's a bit clickbaity. That's the way YouTube works. I don't necessarily apologize for that. A little slow to learn on that, actually. But again, it's getting people in, it's getting people interested, and then my job is, once I've got you here, is to make sure I'm providing you something that is hopefully informative. If you guys share informative things in the chat box, I share it with you. We have a message.
Break. 2, 4, Zulu, 5, Bravo, uniform, stand by. 2, 4, Zulu, 5, Bravo, uniform, stand by. 2, 4, Zulu, 5, Bravo, uniform, stand by. Message follows. 2, 4, Zulu, 5, Bravo, uniform, Yankee, Lima, Bravo, Foxtrot, Whiskey, Charlie, Juliet, X-Ray, 4, India, Delta, Oscar, uniform, 5, Foxtrot, Yankee, Echo, Foxtrot, uniform, Oscar, 7, Hotel, Echo, Papa, I say again, 2, 4, Zulu, 5, Bravo, uniform, Yankee, Lima, Bravo, Foxtrot, Whiskey, Charlie, Juliet, X-Ray, 4, India, Delta, Oscar, uniform, 5, Foxtrot, Yankee, Echo, Foxtrot, uniform, Oscar, 7, Hotel, Echo, Papa. This is address, out.
Okay, so that is another message. Normal for a Saturday. I'll revise some earlier statements. Nothing too crazy. If you're just joining us, we are expecting in the next hour or so, if not sooner, for the U.S. military to attempt to shoot down the balloon. We have a notice to airmen issuing temporary flight restrictions in the areas in red, which corresponds to the section between Charleston and Myrtle Beach, which Lori happens to be pretty nearby. I'm telling you know, Lori, get in the car, step on the gas, because how many times in your life are you going to see the U.S. military try and shoot down a Chinese spy balloon? Hopefully not too often. So this is a rapidly developing situation. A little bit of fun right now, but I wanted to do a live stream because I wanted to have this available in posterity for anyone to look at in the future. What plane shot it down or tried to shoot it down? Let's see how it goes. Where it was, and a quick recap. So last night we had the combat sent a plane pretty much stalking the balloon over the skies of Missouri, briefly Illinois, and then Tennessee. At about 1 Eastern, it turned back to Off Air Force Base and called it a night. In terms of what happened since, I think it was too dark for anyone to really get any good visuals on the balloon. So it wasn't until about 3-4 hours ago now, the balloon was spotted over Greenville, South Carolina, Castle Rock, South Carolina. So a fair bit south from where the standard projections had it last night, but well within kind of the range of the wider, more forgiving projections. That could be due to changes in wind streams. It could be due to changes in the altitude of the plane, because the Pentagon did confirm yesterday that they know China is controlling the balloon. They didn't say who in China, although I'm not sure the significance of who, whether it's the Chinese military, whether it's the Chinese government. I think in all cases we're just going to call that China. But we also have announcements to local airports saying that all departing aircraft are grounded until 2:45 p.m. So we don't expect this to take too long. We're expecting this to happen in the next hour because it sounds like things are developing rapidly. So I'm going to keep looking in the background here to see if I find anyone who is going to be doing any live stream of the balloon, anything like that. If you guys have anything, the way the YouTube chat box works is you cannot put any links in. It won't show up. It gets filtered out. But if you follow me on Twitter, 02_0279, and you either want to @ me, send me a DM, whatever, my DMs are open at this time, I'll be happy to share that. Any questions you guys have, I will answer to the best of my ability, or someone who's more knowledgeable in the chat box will hopefully step up and let you know. But this is what it's looking like right now. The temporary flight restriction between Charleston and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, lines up with where we expect the balloon to pretty much, I'm not quite sure the best way of terming this, but leave the land airspace and go into the ocean airspace. If you understand what I'm trying to say, it will cross the coast and be above the ocean. And despite some of the statements from the Pentagon that they weren't planning on shooting it down or anything like that, it does look like they now do want to shoot it down. And my speculation is because they don't have to worry about not just the debris of the balloon, but any missiles they fire at this balloon. The balloon will not put up any resistance or friction. The rocket will rip right through it and keep going, And if you do that over land, it is going to land somewhere and explode and, heaven forbid, hurt someone. So this is the best approach at this time. I think the best approach would have been to have caught this thing sooner and, you know, shot it down somewhere else. Heck, shoot it down over Canada. That's my personal thinking. I will be looking in the background here. I'm not the best at searching and typing, but we'll see how we go. And what if it contains an EMP? At this point, I think at any point it didn't make a lot of sense to expect this thing to contain an EMP. I don't believe it was floating high enough, and if it was an EMP, they would have set it off by now. We can say that at this point. You're not going to wait for it to go right across the United States and then set an EMP off when half your coverage is going to be over the ocean. That doesn't make a lot of sense. The Pentagon made a ambiguous statement that the balloon has a payload, and they didn't elaborate on that. And I think that is kind of like a jargon thing, not the best choice of words, because to someone who's in the military, payload is a very open-ended term. Anything, literally anything, can be a payload. Whereas when you or I, the average Joe, thinks that it has a payload, we're thinking it has, you know, some kind of nuclear thing or ammunition or stuff like that. What if it contains an EMP and by shooting it down it sets the EMP off? I don't believe so. I really don't. It doesn't line up with how this has all gone along. I think the reaction would have been very, very different. So for anyone who is just joining us right now, we are following along with the flight restrictions between Charleston and Myrtle Beach. We are tracking the military aircraft that are lining up, and I think we're about to have a message.
All stations, this is headdress, break, for Merck, Victor, Kilo, Hotel, Whiskey, Echo, Alpha, standby. Victor, Kilo, Hotel, Whiskey, Echo, Alpha, standby. Victor, Kilo, Hotel, Whiskey, Echo, Alpha, standby. Message follows. Victor, Kilo, Hotel, Whiskey, Echo, Alpha, Alpha, 2, Golf, Mike, 4, Charlie, Mike, 4, Charlie, Sierra, X-Ray, Tango, Victor, India, 2, Juliet, Uniform, Charlie, Lima, India, Quebec, Zulu. I say again, for Merck, Victor, Kilo, Hotel, Whiskey, Echo, Alpha, 2, Golf, Mike, 4, Charlie, Mike, 4, Charlie, Sierra, X-Ray, Tango, Victor, India, 2, Juliet, Uniform. Uniform. Charlie. Lima. India. India. Quebec. Zulu. This is headdress out.
Okay, I'm just throwing something on the screen right now you guys maybe want to take a look at. Let me bring that up so it's not in the way of the thing. This is an account I don't follow myself, but I hear people say a lot of good things about it, and sure enough, they found an account. Looks like, quote unquote, the boys are on a mission, and they are going to be tracking down the Chinese spy balloon, and it looks like 2 F-22s are following it. So let us let's see. You guys can see those images decently well. Oh, there's a message. So that's actually a repeat message. Bear Nest is a relay station that is saying the same message as before. So we're going to put that on Squelch. And so these are photos from an account called, let's see, PD_WXSC. Let me put that in the chat box for anyone who may be interested, for you to take a look at yourself. I'm going to copy that in there. We're going to be following this account. Let's see what happens. And it looks like there are 2 F-22s following the balloon. That's a pretty clear image of it. Let me see if I can get this a little bit more. Oh, I can't. That's the account. You've got a link in the chat box right now. I'm going to be following this account.
Themselves. You can see the plane? Oh no, he's talking to somebody, I think. I'm gonna take Scotty's audio down for a second. We'll keep it on there.
I think these are recordings.
Evan, you mentioned weather balloons. That is a very practical and
but it looks like the Carolina Weather Group is tracking the balloon.
To observe weather, which is what China claims this balloon is doing. But let me ask you, you have launched weather balloons. What type of insight can you give us about balloons?
Well, one, the size is not the same. These weather balloons that we see go up from the National Weather Service or that are used for research purposes that are they last maybe 2 to 3 hours before they pop in the upper atmosphere, versus this balloon that we're seeing here has obviously been transiting the United States over the past 2 or 3 days now, so it's very long lived. The size is a huge difference as well. With your standard weather balloon, it starts a few feet in diameter, and then as it goes up into the atmosphere and the higher it gets, as the pressure decreases, that balloon expands, and it might grow to, speculating here, but 12 to 18 feet in diameter. Whereas the balloon that Scotty has live streamed right here, and I see a contrail, 2 contrails there. That balloon is much larger. The payload, I've heard speculation that it is on the order of 3 school buses wide, 3 houses wide. So it is far larger than your average weather balloon, and obviously carrying a very different payload, one that weighs much more than a weather balloon.
You know, those contrails, that we've seen them here in the Carolinas earlier today too, and it's hard to know whether they're just other aircraft in the area or something else. It's just it's atmospherically, it's been a very good day to see those contrails. But what's interesting is that we know from looking at Flight Tracker, there's no other commercial aircraft up right now. So those contrails very much. Go ahead, Scotty. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we've got some action going on up here. I've got 2 contrails. You can see right.
We lost Scotty. We're going to stand by. He'll be back with us in just a second. He said 2. I almost saw 4 there.
I think I saw 4 as well. 2 more coming in from the left.
Yeah. We're continuing to watch on Flight Tracker. Again, this is just what the government is allowing us to see, that they've got this United States Air Force plane out there. There's clearly some other things in the flight.
Here we go.
Scotty.
Yeah, so you guys can see the fighter. There's 3. I'm not sure what kind of jets they are, but you know, there's nothing here in space. So let you kind of
Well,
figure
that's
out
exactly
for
what we were
yourself what
talking
that
about right
means.
before you got kicked off. Right? There's allegedly nothing in the airspace, but there is clearly something in the airspace.
Yeah, and then the balloon's coming towards the coast, and these three. So I'm not sure, what's happening. Looks like you can maybe start to see, maybe start to turn around. If you look at the contrails, you can start to see some curvature.
That's something that we've seen over the past day as people have been tracking flights online, as these bigger planes circling and circling around or near the balloon, and perhaps although those I would hazard a guess that they aren't the bigger planes. Those may be jets. We're a weather
No, these
podcast.
sounded like, I don't think they were the big planes.
Okay,
And you can really see the curvature of these two right here.
Yeah,
Looks like they're starting.
So folks, I think what I'm going to do here is if you want to follow this stream yourself, this is Carolina WX Group on Twitter. You have that username right there on the screen. By all means, no offense is taken if you want to follow along in that stream yourself, because I'm not going to have too much more to say on top of what these gentlemen are sharing with us. So I will leave that like that. And temporarily, let me see what I can do here. Because we will have the messages running in the background. We're going to keep listening to them. But we'll have that sitting in the corner. And we'll throw over to this. We'll have the map up. And I'll let their dialogue go on a little bit more for, I guess, context. And any questions you guys have, any stuff like that, put it in the chat box. Because I think we have found the resource that we want to be on when this all goes down. So Scotty Powell looks like he is a meteorologist. That is a message.
This is headdress, break, 4 butyl, Victor, Kilo, 7, 4, 6, Alpha, stand by, Victor, Kilo, 7, 4, 6, Alpha, stand by, Victor, Kilo, 7, 4, 6, Alpha, stand by, message follows, Victor, Kilo, 7, 4, 6, Alpha, Quebec, Victor, Romeo, Whiskey, Golf, Romeo, 6, Hotel, Bravo, Delta, Foxtrot, Echo, X-Ray, Tango, X-Ray, Alpha, Whiskey, Echo, Lima, Whiskey, Lima, Lima, Oscar, 4, I say again, 4 feudal, 4 feudal, Victor, Kilo, 7, 4, 6, Alpha, Quebec, Victor, Romeo, Whiskey, Golf, Romeo, 6, Hotel, Bravo, Delta, Foxtrot, Echo, X-Ray, Tango, X-Ray, Alpha, Whiskey, Echo, Lima, Whiskey, Lima, Lima, Oscar, 4, this is headdress, out.
So that was a new message for the military call sign feudal. And I want to tab over to something because I just got an email from from David. And let me get this link for you. Oh, standing by for traffic.
Standing by for traffic.
Let me see how that's looking on the screen for you guys. So let's take that map down temporarily. If we take a look at this map right now on marinetraffic.com, I think we can see a couple warships in the area of interest. So right along the no-fly zone that we're dealing with right now. So this is a warship, Gov Vessel 50, if you can see that there. And that is just off Wilmington. And I think this is also a, yeah. It is called U.S. Warship. And can you guys see it on the screen there? Maybe not. Let me do something momentarily. Which window is that? I think it's this one. Stretch that screen out a little bit. There we go. So a couple warships in the area right now. Thank you very much, David, for sending this in to me. Happy to share this with you guys. So there's one warship. There is another warship. And those guys are both in the area we've been looking at. Now let's throw it back to the flight map. So my guess is going to be that is approximately where they are expecting to see the balloon land, or within that area, so they can recover it. So we've got this, the Stratotanker is making some moves. That's breaking flight pattern, I think. Let's tune it back into these guys, see what kind of comments they've got going for us right now. Some of my windows have gotten a lot of whack. Okay. Let's lock that in place. This fellow, let's get the stream back on. Yeah, anything you guys want on stream, if you want to send me an email, 02_0279 at proton.me. That is how I got the warship. Let me actually do something else. Will make it a little bit easier to get on screen. I'm not going to fill the screen with all kinds of things, but hey. So David has just a little bit nicer highlighted the planes for us here. No, I'm going to have to throw that up as a new image. In a moment. So that is the NOTAM. Let's get a window for a new image. That's a bit large. That is where the warships are. As you can see, that is a perfect overlap. And the call signs for the warships are very descriptively warship. Nothing too crazy there. So we're going to take those down momentarily, just temporarily, because I think we know what's going on with both of those guys. Let's throw it back. So this is a live stream we're watching from the Carolina Weather Group. And they are giving their thoughts and comments on what's going on.
Because if there were something that were going to happen, some reaction, some action from the military, it wouldn't happen over land. That's one of the few things I do feel safe speculating about. So as this balloon drifts out over the ocean, it seems like that's where they're really wanting to do something with it, whether that's just observe or engage.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There's lots of thoughts, speculations, hypotheses, and likelihoodness that they could use the ocean as a place to finally do something with this balloon without having people down below. Luke is saying, correction on the previous photo was taken from Conway, North Carolina, facing north. So again, that does actually move us a little bit further north if we were trying to figure out exactly where this was. Jared Smith, how's the traffic? Is it other people heading to the waters like you?
That's sure. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what we can see. I saw some of the smaller contrails, but again, it's further. It's going to be way. If we're going to be able to see it, you've got to basically be on the water, and it's going to be very, very low on the horizon. A couple things, I've been listening to you guys, try and speculate, but not full in on speculation, and just I suspect that one, obviously, you don't harm anybody on the ground, right? That's the first most important thing. Any action on it, but to surveil it to this point. You have to assume that that's the case. I suspect that they're not going to try and destroy it. I think maybe just a couple rounds will do. Track it as it lands and then pick it up, because I think that what is that? What? Why? Why would logical or?
Okay, so that's what those guys are thinking there, and pretty similar speculation. I think most people are making educated guesses all along the same lines, though what we are seeing here is things lining up in favor of an attempt to shoot down the plane over the ocean. And Lori, I just got your email, and I just put a watermark over it with your name in case anyone wants to use the image themselves as well. Ask Lori if it's okay, but I got a watermark on there just in case. So it is a little tricky to see there. Now, Lori, is this facing eastward? If you see that little dot there in the center, you should be able to make out where the spy balloon is. Just above that house in the, I think the third house from the left. Very faint, very small, but definitely visible there. I would assume that is facing in the general direction. Just scrolling the chat here. But that is very nice. Thank you for sharing that image. We're gonna leave that there. Checking the inbox to see any other emails that you guys are sending me right now. And oh, a message.
All stations. This is headdress. Break for Merc. Victor. Kilo. Whiskey. 4. 2. Papa. Standby. Victor. Kilo. Whiskey. 4. 2. Papa. Standby. Victor. Kilo. Whiskey. 4. 2. Papa. Standby. Message follows. Victor. Kilo. Whiskey. 4. 2. Papa. India. 2. November. 3. Lima. 4. 5. Quebec. Golf. Sierra. 6. Zulu. Sierra. Whiskey. Zulu. Lima. Sierra. Echo. Sierra. Mike. Papa. Foxtrot. Victor. Bravo. I say again, for Merc. Victor. Kilo. Whiskey. 4. 2. Papa. India. 2. November. 3. Lima. 4. 5. Quebec. Golf. Sierra. 6. Zulu. Sierra. Whiskey. Zulu. Lima. Sierra. Echo. Sierra. Mike. Papa. Foxtrot. Victor. Bravo. This is headdress out.
So that brings us to message number 16. So definitely a lot going on. I just got another photo from Lori, and those are the two F-22s that are following the balloon along. And it seems like if an order to shoot the balloon does come, it's gonna be the F-22s that are shooting it down. And just taking a look here. Add the photo at the maximum text message resolution. So Paul has just sent an email as well. I'm going to throw that up. So let's see. How's that going for us? Not super well. Bear with me one moment because I want to make sure I put watermarks on all the stuff that you guys share with me. I don't want anyone grabbing it and claiming it for themselves per se. It is your images. Thank you very much for sharing them. I want to make sure that people get their due credits. Oops. Having said that, it can take me a moment. So yes, there are temporary flight restrictions that have been issued. Those orders have absolutely gone out. And those are for local airports are grounded. Planes cannot enter these areas, and the time range given was up until 2:45 p.m. With a medium chance of an extension. Let's see what we can do here. Is this visible? So we've zoomed in on this and highlighted it with a red circle. Thank you very much, Paul. That is what it was looking like from Asheville. Let's see. A few hours ago, I take it. So that is one there. We're going to put that in the corner temporarily because we obviously have a lot to track right now. Now I notice these gentlemen are looking at a particular plane with a empty call sign. And that is going to be this fella here. That's just a strato tanker, so that's there for refueling, things like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but definitely interesting to have it there. So yeah, that photo is one of many for the database here. One of the accounts I talk about a lot, the Intel Frog, I think he was doing some work on kind of a map of where the balloon was and projections of where it would be. So this is happening, folks. This is happening right now in real time. If you are just joining us now, it could be happening as you and I speak. It is It is all happening. Flight restrictions are in place until 2:45 p.m. Eastern, and it is currently 2:12 p.m. Eastern. So any plans to shoot this sucker down are probably underway right now. In the top right of the screen, I have a live stream from the Carolina Weather Group, which is a podcast of live streaming weather with local meteorologists and forecasters in South Carolina, so that's convenient. And let's put this up right now. This is coming from one of those meteorologists, Scotty Powell. How's that looking on the screen right now? I'm going to take that down temporarily, just so we can get a better look at what's going on here. So a number of jets, pretty much just waiting for it to clear the coast, and we're gonna see a show. We're gonna see some fireworks. We're gonna see some action here. We're gonna see if the Carolina Weather Group is able to give us a podcast or anything like that. But that is what marine traffic is looking like right now. We have two U.S. warships in the area right now. One left off at 9:14. Another one left at 8:55. Those would be, I believe, Eastern time. And those times decently line up with speculation here. They line up decently with some of the emergency action messages we've heard this morning. I'll put that back up temporarily just so you guys have an idea of how things are going so far with messages. it is, let's call it brisk for a Saturday. 16 messages is decently busy for comparison. Last Saturday we only had one. Italian expat is asking me, did I ever try to explode something over your CPU? I'm not sure what you mean, or even better, your GPU. No. Marcel, you're asking if I saw the comment yesterday. Yeah, no, I'm familiar with the this instructions there, so I can put the labels back up for people who are interested. I had them up earlier. So that is all the labels. Fox has a live stream up. How am I going to find the Fox live stream? Is that on YouTube? Spacebub is saying there's a Fox live stream. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah. I have found it. Give me one moment here. Let's pull that up.
So I think there'll be some.
Let's see. Let's bring that over here. This is a Fox stream. Thinking how we're gonna handle that. Now their interface might change, so I mean if you guys want to watch this for yourselves, yeah, that is gonna change a lot, so I'm gonna have to leave that pretty much as is. The Fox stream may be a copyright issue. I'm not too concerned about that. If I have to take the stream down later on, that's fine. If it gets demonetized, my channel is currently demonetized anyways. Nothing I can do about that. And not to get too into this, but yes, it is demonetized. I'm supposed to be able to apply for remonetization today, but I haven't seen anything yet. If you are liking this stream and you feel so inclined, I do have a Patreon. I do have a buy me a coffee in the bottom left of the stream. But at the same time, not too worried. Don, I'm not too worried about the appeal. This would be covered by fair use, and I think I got demonetized because they didn't like the lack of commentary. So if this loses me the appeal, I don't think I was going to win either way. It's catch-22, where if I comment over footage, I'm wrong for having footage. If I don't comment over original footage, I am hammered for not commenting on original footage. So not a big deal for me. I will let you guys know what happens with that. Anyways, we're gonna leave that in the corner. We'll adjust the window here and there, but if you want to watch that yourself, that is the Fox stream. We'll have that running in the corner, and we'll also be toggling back and forth to the Carolina weather group. Although I don't know how that's going to show up on the stream window. Let's leave that up like that, because that is a nice view of those jets. They are pretty much stalking the balloon. They are waiting for their opportunity to knock this sucker out of the sky. Let's see here. I want that as a separate window, maybe. Okay. So again, that flight restriction was originally issued to last until 2:45 p.m. It is currently 2:18 p.m. and we are watching the planes just stalk the thing. The jets are ready. I think it's fair to speculate on some of these streams in terms of whether it is related to the warships, which we were looking at earlier. Let's take a look at those again in terms of their current positioning. got the one there. We have the second one there. And again, this is available on marinetraffic.com if you want to see where the warships are. We have an unspecified ship. We have flight radar. We have all these labels going. Let's take those down temporarily. I do want to talk about the this one here, though. Quite an interesting one. The Stratotanker has broken its holding pattern. It looks like it's getting ready to get into a certain positioning. Let's pause that. How's that showing up on the screens right now? Okay. There we go. A Fox link with all the commentary. Yeah, any emails you guys want to send me, 02_0279 @proton.me. 02_0279 @proton.me. I'll take a look at some of the comment emails I'm getting later on. I want to make sure that we don't miss a moment of this. I'll look in the internet as well to see what I can find. Is this a no commentary? Okay, I have found a no commentary stream. I think. I'm not sure, actually. This might be it. (020279). That is correct. Oop. So that is the Fox stream. As far as the visuals of the whatchamacallit, 8992 kilohertz. I know it's the main thing on this stream, but we don't necessarily need to look at the footage of that. Give me one moment, I'll be right back. Okay, so that is the Fox stream. And I have the Carolina Weather Group in the background there as well. So that's going to be another angle. And they do have their watermark there on the top right. So I'm just going to conserve screen space, go ahead and do that. Hopefully no one has any major umbrage on that. Extreme Cowgirl is saying Dave Doyle 8 on TikTok. Dave Doyle 8 is doing a stream of the jets and the whole shebang. I do not use TikTok myself. I think that TikTok is the real Chinese spy balloon. So I'm afraid to install those things on my phone, quite bluntly. I don't trust it. But we're gonna have these two screens here. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat box just to catch up with stuff here. I do not think it's an EMP. I really don't. As far as whether they're going to try and catch the balloon or shoot it down, it's very large. It is a very large balloon. It is much easier said than done when it comes to shooting it down. Or sorry, yeah, when it comes to catching it, that is a big ask. Let me just adjust this window here. Thank you for emailing this to me, SpaceBub, because I wouldn't have found this myself. So this is going to be a no commentary stream. This is Fox footage of the balloon, which you can see right now in a decent resolution, actually. That's not so bad. You can see the apparatus there. I'm not sure. I mean, definitely Fox has good cameras, but it may also be lowering in altitude naturally. It'll be interesting to see if when the shooting starts, if you see any attempts to maneuver it. So we're going to take that stream down temporarily because there's just some faces with some commentary. Not too different from what I'm talking about here. Speculation along the same lines. Yeah, I don't think it's an EMP. Wasn't there several balloons, or was that mistaken information? So the Pentagon has confirmed the existence of 2 balloons. One over the United States, the one that we're looking at right now in the top right corner, that is a live feed. And another one is over Central America. I think people in the chat box have said that they saw sightings over Venezuela or something. So those are the 2. Canada, the past couple of days, has been saying that they are tracking, at the time, first on February 2nd, when we only knew about the 1 balloon, they issued this ambiguously worded statement, which was, we are tracking a second incident, and people, and I include myself in that, I assumed that is just a vague way of acknowledging another balloon exists, but they don't want to get people into a panic. And then, you know, an extended period of time went by. There were no sightings of this balloon. I thought it was over Moose Jaw because you had unusual flight movements in the area, but those could have been training exercises, and they most likely were, because at some point the balloon would have moved on, and we haven't seen it. So there are 2 balloons. Canada thinks there is a 3rd. I don't think Canada knows what it's talking about in a case like this, but if that turns out to be the opposite, hey. Anyone joining us, welcome. Look in the top right screen. That is a live stream of the balloon. You're going to the bunker. Well, I'll tell you. If you are in the no flight restriction zone between Charleston and Myrtle Beach, where we have these planes lined up, where we have the American warships in position, and check this out yourselves on marinetraffic.com. U.S. warship 19, government vessel 50, and an unspecified ship. What that is anyone's call. Those are there to collect the balloon, possibly, when it is shot down, if it is shot down. And just a reminder, in addition to the NOTAM on the temporary restricted flight area, we have issues for grounding all planes in the local airports. In Charleston, another airport in South Carolina, and those were in effect until 2:45 p.m. With a medium chance to restrict it. We were looking at some footage earlier on where we had some F-22s stalking the plane, waiting to shoot the sucker down. So we're basically waiting to see what happens here. Those guys are still just streaming some stuff. We'll check in on them temporarily now and again, see if they're sharing any new information. A couple of meteorologists there. But flights of interest here that are showing up on the radar. This would be a strato tanker that is typically used for refueling. That has broken the holding pattern, which a bait is still in. They may be unrelated, you know. You can look at any section of the U.S. airspace right now and start making all kinds of speculation about what it might be doing. But it's this general area that lines up with the restricted area we were looking at earlier. This is where these red zones is where you cannot fly right now. Corresponds to the position of the warships in the sea.
This is address, standing by for traffic. I say again, this is address, standing by for traffic. This is address, out.
Okay, so that is just a standing by for traffic. That's going to do that every 30 minutes, I think, right now. Why those go out, not super sure. And you can faintly see, if I turn the squelch all the way down, you're going to continue to hear the radio teletype signal, which I believe started sometime... Well, it did start sometime yesterday, but at this point I feel pretty confident saying I think it's been going for like 24 hours. I think maybe 20. It's been a very long time. That happens. It doesn't happen often. What that corresponds to, not necessarily the balloon. Let's not forget the United States has operations all across the globe. You know, once the hullabaloo with the balloon is done, I'm sure people will go back to reporting full time about what's going on in Ukraine. We'll see what I end up doing. Actually, just for a moment, and I'll be checking this in the back window. I want to see, because I'm supposed to be allowed to apply for remonetization today, and the button is still gray, so I'm not super sure what's going on. If I still can't do it by tomorrow, I will be upset. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Japan used fire balloons to start fires in the West Coast. Yeah, every country, a number of countries have used balloons for espionage, for things like that. So we're watching the live stream in the top right. The balloon is still being a balloon. It still exists. I wonder what I want to do here with the screens. Should probably rejig them, but at this point, that would take me a while. You know what, let's rejig these screens a little bit. I want these set up a little bit. I'm going to go off the mic, because if I try and talk and do this, I will just start rambling. We've got a lively discussion going on in the chat box. Shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes. And bear with me as the screen goes all kinds of crazy as I try and reformat this for you. Okay, that is the new layout for now, for this video. So in the top left, we've got the flight radar. In the top right, we've got the Fox feed, which appears to be live. Bottom left, you've got the flight restriction zone. Bottom middle, you have marinetraffic.com. Bottom right, you have a stream of 8992 kilohertz. You guys are recommending a few different channels and stuff in the chat box. I haven't had an opportunity to check out Green Greg's. What I've seen of him is interesting. He seems like a very nice and knowledgeable man. NY Prepper I love. He's been very nice. I love sharing information with the guy. The other guy I'm not a fan of. I will not say why, but he has called my channel fake, and I hate giving him any attention. Am I still here on marinetraffic.com? Absolutely, I am. So we've got a lot going on, and it is now 2:37. The flight restriction was originally until 2:45. The balloon may be lingering a little bit longer than they expected. But if we take a look here, I'm gonna pull up a video for you guys. Give me a moment here. Just some more footage of the jets that are circling these things, waiting for it to fall down so they can pop it out of the sky, pretty much. Save video as. So I found this on Twitter. This is some footage of the jets circling this thing. Put together about 10 minutes ago. So it is close. Things are getting into position. Maybe not quite on the timeline the military was hoping for. So those restrictions. Oh, fuck. That is a hit. That is a hit. And it is going down. First try. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chinese spy balloon has been shot. The Chinese spy balloon is falling. Oh, the humanity. And, USA. What we're gonna watch for now is to see, what happens here in terms of, whether they collect it. With the warships, you've got the marine traffic down there. So, I mean, that flight restriction was pretty well timed. I mean, they said it's up until 2:45, and they waited to do it. Yeah, there is, you can see particles there falling off of it. Let us zoom into that. I mean, oops. Let's bring that full focus. So this is the Fox stream. This is live. You can see stuff falling off it. A lot of glitter things are going on there. I'm gonna leave that there. Congratulations to everyone on this historic day. You just witnessed history. The United States of America Air Force has just shot down a Chinese spy balloon just off the coast of South Carolina at about 2:38 p.m. on February 4th, 2023. This is a historic day. The instruction came from the Pentagon, and most likely it wasn't F-22 that did it. They were following it for the last several hours. And let's... Congratulations on shooting down the Chinese spy balloon. It is unusual that it happened at all. I think in the coming days and weeks, people will have to answer as to how this happened. But for this moment, I think you can be very proud that it was a first hit. A success. This is a resounding optics victory for the United States. It sends a very powerful message to China, which is that if you send a Chinese spy balloon over the land of the United States, they will wait a couple days for it to fly by, and as soon as it is over the ocean, it will be shot down immediately, and you will not get it back. You will not be allowed to get the balloon back. So we're going to leave that running there in the corner. We're going to bring back marine traffic because at this point we're interested in whether they collect the balloon. We want to bring back the SDR stream. Bear with me here. Yeah, it would be rude to shoot down a spy balloon while it's still spying. I agree. It's a common courtesy to let your enemies spy on you. And when they're done, to then you shoot it down. So that's back there right now. And let's see some of you folks what you're saying right now as we watch that balloon continue to careen down towards the ground. Paul is asking, it popped, I rewound, and I'm still not seeing it. So I don't want to rewind myself because I want to make sure you guys have a live feed of what is going on. But if you're watching the video right now, you know, go ahead. I will give you a moment to rewind, go forward, see what you notice. I'm going to be checking in the background a couple things here. Glory to NATO, US, Society Against Communism, absolutely. Play the Top Gun anthem. That would be a copyright issue because I don't know how I could justify that possibly. Few things we're talking about here. It was a TikTok balloon, absolutely. Yeah, as I said earlier in the stream, the real Chinese spy balloon was TikTok all along. It is a spy balloon in your TVs. It is a spy balloon in your phones. And it looks like we have some stuff going on the flight radars here. A couple planes with no call signs. Not sure whether they're just not broadcasting a call sign or what. Yeah, E4B has left just outside Warner Robins there. A Poseidon. Ridiculous name for a plane. And it looks like the Stratotanker that we were monitoring earlier, the one that broke pattern early, is pretty much leaving the scene. Whatever its job was is done. This one that is in the holding pattern continues to be there. Another Stratotanker. That's the one we were just looking at. A few things going on. There was a J-Stars above Georgia earlier. Not quite sure where that, I think that is at. Peach 88 is, could be unrelated. Yeah, it is still falling. It was up a decent amount. Crab is saying this is probably some guy's AliExpress order that crashed in the ocean. I'm loving that. James Barnett is saying that as well. Your AliExpress delivery just arrived. Oh, wouldn't that be something? So that balloon is going out of screen right now, and that is just the Fox feed. I don't have any better footage for you at this time. Yeah, it would have been interesting to see the balloon. Oh, they've adjusted the camera. Thank you. I have this magical power to make things happen as I talk. That's why my fans love me so much. Camera adjust. Guys having a smoke. Yeah, it could be. So if you're having a hard time seeing the balloon, I'm going to zoom in momentarily. And I'll bring it back to the corner of the screen there. Okay. Now, just as a point of curiosity, as we said, the balloon was shot down at about 2:38 p.m. The last two messages that we heard, and whether they're related is up to you to determine. At 1:56, we heard a message from Headdress directed for the call sign Feudal. And then at 2:06 p.m. Eastern Time, 19:06 Universal Coordinated Time, we heard a message for the call sign, I believe, Merc. And that was about a half hour before this all went off. And I don't think we heard any messages around the time that it was shot down. But it was shot down on the first attempt. We believe that it was not that Seagull that just came into view, but actually F-22s that were following the balloon on its last final hours of its existence. And at this point, it's again at the bottom of the screen, so we're hoping the cameraman catches that and adjusts the camera again. It does seem to be falling at a faster rate as the day goes on, as the minutes go on, I should say. Out of screen for the moment. Hello. Knock, knock, knock. We might have lost the balloon footage for the moment. It's a historic day nonetheless. Continues to be a historic day. Marine traffic continues to ask me to refresh that window so I don't lose that. But actually, let's bring up marine traffic for the moment, because we don't have eyes on the balloon. Although, just in case, let's do this. Yeah, that's a nice way of doing that for the moment. So there were those warships earlier. He is out of town. He is headed away. Not sure where the other one might have gone. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. I don't understand too much what I'm looking at, so I can't comment on that, but I will leave that up for a moment. I don't know if they're ever going to adjust the camera back into focus. We will see. Oh, is it Merc as in Mike Uniform Romeo Kilo? Because I've been spelling it Mike Echo Romeo Charlie Kilo, like the pharmaceutical company. Yes, Gov Vessel is still there. I think it is. Okay, that's something. I didn't know I could do that with this site. If you see there, you see the trajectory of Gov Vessel 50 right now. So this is where it was at about the time it was shot down. Let's zoom in on that so you guys can see that a little bit better. Not make it disappear, but actually bring it up forward a little bit. So at about, so this is where it was at about 1929, and then it turned hard towards the west. That's at 2:31. Kind of kept going in that direction. Would have been shot down around this time. It's continuing along its trajectory there, and we can continue to keep tabs on that guy as he ventures along. He's making some moves here and there. Navigational status underway. But it is a historic day once again. This is the first time that a balloon from the Chinese has dared to enter United States sovereign airspace, linger about, first above the skies of Montana, continue to drift towards the southeast, over Missouri, briefly over Illinois, then Tennessee. Then this morning reports it was above South Carolina, first Greenville, Castle Rock, and about half an hour ago at 2:38 p.m. Eastern time, just off the coast of Charleston, South Carolina, along the coastline with Myrtle Beach, that wide range there in the bottom left where the no-flight restriction was issued. What we believe to be an F-22 was given the order to shoot to kill. Looks like we do have a weak signal going on 8992. Let's see if we can hear it. Not so much. Oh, and did the balloon just fall into the ocean? I wasn't looking, but the camera has adjusted. You guys may want to rewind. When I'm done this stream, I'm going to rewind as well myself to see what just happened there. 14:38:55 is the timestamp for when it was hit. A good amount of smoke upon being hit. Thank you, Justin, for that. So that timestamp there, if you want to look at the bottom right of the screen, scroll to 14:38:55, and that is when it was first initially hit. We're gonna have to get someone on to seeing the cameraman who just panned to the ocean there. That is the Atlantic Ocean. If you're ever like me and you can't remember which one is the Pacific and which one is the Atlantic, you have to pause to think about it, and pause is P and then A, and that's my mnemonic for remembering the Atlantic Ocean, because for all my education, the simple things elude me. So I'm going to actually myself maybe watch my own stream on my phone, because I want to scroll back and see when exactly they hit back to the ocean here. take me a moment here. Everyone who is watching right now, I am so glad you could make it. This is history in the making. History has been made today. And you can say you were watching a YouTube live stream of a Canadian who is walking you through this. I would lie. I would say it was just some guy. I wouldn't specify it was Canadian. I'm scrolling back at about 14:55. The camera zooms down to the ocean, but I don't think we can see it anymore. Like, I'm thinking I see a dot of white that may be the balloon, but I'm not sure because it could just as easily be waves. Now, it's tough to say, but we can monitor and see maybe a ship will come by. A woman is coming by now. We do not believe that she is related to the efforts, neither the gentleman there. Unlikely to be representatives of the United States military. I think those are just civilians walking along the beach on this day, which, for anyone curious, let's look up the current weather in Charleston. It is a brisk 52 Fahrenheit on this sunny Saturday. We have reports from Possum Lady in the chat box. We may be seeing those people swimming to the balloon. I'm kidding, but I'm sure you're kidding as well. It would be interesting to see. They are coming in frame again. Looks like they may be trying to take a photo or something. I hate to break it to them, but if they were hoping to get a snapshot of the balloon, they missed it by about 20 minutes now. If they had been there just a little bit earlier. But that is how these things work. History is nothing but a succession of 5 seconds at a time, and if you're late for the 5 seconds, you missed it. So there is some of the planes. I don't think we ever had the F-22s showing up on the radar, although we definitely had sightings. We had photos from folks here in the chat, so they were definitely there. They may be on flight radar, but at this point, let's see. No longer a live stream there. We have a message. No, we have standby for traffic.
I say again, this is headdress, standby for traffic.
So with the live stream, in the top right, I don't have a way of rewinding it. Just to stand by for traffic there. But you would definitely want to rewind and go forward on the feed. It looks like we have people who are analyzing what exactly happened. So let's see, Justin, you are saying if you go back to the hit, look below the balloon. A few seconds later, you can see something pop up momentarily, right before the fighter contrail crosses screen. It is footage to analyze for sure, and I know over the next little while we're gonna see all kinds of reporting on that. Now, just to see where our friend... Is this working? So you can't see a line anymore. I'll zoom in so that's a little bit clearer for you. I'm not intimately familiar with using marinetraffic.com. But this was its position at the time the balloon was hit. And over the past 20 odd minutes, it's just continuing its route. It may not be related. something to document, something to keep an eye on. And we do see more civilians along the beach there. They may well make a swim for it. They may try and collect it for themselves. They may be Chinese double agents on the beach right now. We can only speculate. I will, if you find any resources confirming that those are Chinese spies along the beachfront right now, 02_0279 I will be happy to report that breaking news. But at this time, no confirmation that those are Chinese agents along the beachfront. I'll just take a moment here to take a look here on a few things. I want to see if I can maybe find some footage of the balloon. Yeah. Give me a moment. I'm going to pull up a video that we can maybe fast forward, rewind, look through.
On several different.
Okay. I don't know if that's going to work out for me. Pull up the Intel Frogs tweet. Absolutely, let's take a look at it. Let's bring that into frame right now. I'm not sure what that cameraman is doing. What is he looking for? Man's crazy. Got a lot of windows open right now. A lot going on. There we go. How's that looking on the stream for you guys? Let me center that just a little bit better. All right. And from the top, this is a 38-second clip around the time 2:38 p.m. Eastern when the balloon was shot down.
Oh, damn! Stop! They shot. It's going at it right now. Oh, shit! It's hit. It's going down. What?
So maybe let's do this frame by frame. Let me do something. Can I do something? Yeah, this won't be perfect, but give me a few minutes, a couple minutes, shouldn't take too long. I've downloaded the video and I'll be able to do essentially a kind of like a frame by frame. Bear with me. In the interim, while I'm working on this, put that back up for you. Give me a couple minutes. I'm going to download the video. I'm going to set something up for you, and we will go literally frame by frame on this sucker. I have a very creative way of giving file names to things. So I do have this turned up fairly loud, I think, if I have it set up the way I'm intending it to be set up. So sound warning or loudness warning, whatever you like to refer to it. If you're wearing headphones, brace yourself, I think. And we're going to go frame by frame on this as soon as things get interesting. And I hope that's zoomed in as much as it can be. We have to adjust that angle a little bit. Okay.
Oh,
Is that when it was hit?
damn. Stop. They shot.
I think it's still in one piece.
It's going at it right now.
See, at this point, it looks like it's already deformed. So is it... Is that boom when it was hit? Or is that a sonic boom from the plane? Because I think there is a louder boom coming up.
They shot. It's going at it right now.
No, that's him shouting.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
See, by that point, it's already hit. You can already see it's deformed. So I would think that's when it was hit. I don't know if that's a sonic boom. I think this is the hit, and it just takes a moment to properly deflate. Right there, that's when it occurs. Actually, let me do something for you. Time code. So I can't give you the exact time that it happened with the timestamp here, but it'll just for a little bit of reference. That's showing up for you. And that's just relative to the timing of this clip. That's when you hear the boom. Right here.
Oh, damn. Stop.
And I think during this time it's deflating. Like I think it's already
going
been
at it
hit.
right now.
And it takes about 14 seconds to lose its form and then go into free fall.
Oh, shit. It's hit.
In my uneducated
going down.
impression. If you guys have any thoughts on that in greater detail.
What?
See, because you see the smoke here at this point, or what seems like smoke, but it's already lost its form right about there at 16 seconds. So we hear a boom 2 seconds into the clip, loses its form 13 seconds into the clip, and and then you see maybe smoke or just the balloons highly deformed. Well, I am sure people over the next few days or even today will be providing expertise on that. We do have just in the comments saying Tyler Rogaway is suggesting the AIM-9 is the most likely weapon because of laser-based guidance. There is a potential a second projectile was fired to handle the payload after piercing the balloon. That is possible. It looks like the Fox footage now is just people on the beach having a nice day. If you are interested in following that, let me grab the link to that for you to follow along. And thank you to the viewers for sending this to me earlier. But I expect that to just be, the remainder of that to be people having a stroll on the beach. Message traffic on the radio, I'm quiet about 40 minutes before it happened. It's been fairly quiet since. Air traffic, as you can see, is still pretty decent. But that's gonna wrap it up for me today. I don't have too much to tell you about other than this. What we have witnessed today is history. I am absolutely glad you could make it. I'm absolutely glad that you're a witness to this moment. We will never again have anything like this in our lives. Unless they send another balloon. Who knows? That said, that concludes our planned programming. Thank you very much for being. If you guys want to continue the discussion, you've always got the comments section. I like to recommend the EAM.watch Discord for those who have it, etc. And with that said, because I always ramble, I'm going to cut myself off right here. Goodbye.